A promise to bring millions of dollars and hundreds of jobs to Lynn County goes unfulfilled.
I'm really shocked that they said no today.
Tonight, the decision that killed the Cedar Crossing Casino project. We have team coverage from Council Bluffs to Cedar Rapids. But first, here's your Weather First forecast.
Sunshine for today, but cooler than normal temperatures and still staying pretty cool through the rest of tonight. But at least the winds are much calmer. Here's a look in Cedar Rapids out across Collins Road there. This is heading out to the west where we see mainly sunny skies right now, 50 degrees, northwest winds at 14 miles an hour. We did have some clouds earlier. Those have been breaking up as we head into the evening, and a very dry night expected tonight. No rain, but it's still rather chilly up to the north in Decorah at 39. Much better in Washington, which is at 54 degrees right now. So just a couple of clouds through the early evening. Much calmer winds for tonight and mostly clear skies with 30s by midnight. A significant warm-up is on the way. We'll show you just how much warm weather is expected through Easter weekend, but also when we'll see another chance for some rain.
And now CBS2 brings you the top stories covering the corridor. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Tiffany O'Donnell, live on the former Cedar Crossing site here in downtown Cedar Rapids.
And I'm Scott Sanborn at Broadcast Park. Last year, voters in Lynn County overwhelmingly approved a plan to build a casino in Cedar Rapids. City leaders voted to support it. So did Lynn County supervisors. But in the end, the only vote that mattered was the one today by the Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission. It wasn't even close. By a vote of 4-1, the state board flatly rejected Lynn County's request for a gaming license. For those who invested in the project, it's a devastating blow after years of hard work. But the impact goes much farther. We are covering every angle of this story tonight. CBS 2 News reporter Matt Hamill is in Council Bluffs, where today's decision was announced. And in Cedar Rapids, Sadie Hughes has reaction from those close to the plan stopped cold in its tracks. But we begin with my colleague, Tiffany O'Donnell, in downtown Cedar Rapids. Tiffany.
Good evening, Scott. I'm standing on right now what would have been Cedar Crossing Casino. As early as this morning, this was still very much a possibility here between 1st and 2nd Streets on 1st Avenue. All of that changed with that 4-1 vote that happened this morning in Council Bluffs. City leaders here promoted Cedar Crossing as really a linchpin to development, flood protection. Kingston Village, a whole neighborhood for heaven's sakes, pretty much named around the possibility of that. Those votes from the commissioners today in the Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission changed all of that. My colleague, CBS2 reporter Matt Hamill, has been in Council Bluffs following the story since the beginning. Here's what he saw this morning.
A brutal day for Cedar Rapids supporters here at the Ameristar Riverboat Casino. First, they saw all the people who come here to enjoy blackjack and slots. Then they watched their own plans hit the rocks and sink.
Item on our agenda, and obviously
as the commissioners started the vote, city leaders and developers sat hopeful up front. Optimistic that 3 years developing this plan, choosing a site and lining up investors for Cedar Crossing would be rewarded with a gambling license.
Not positive enough
but
to add
one
a
at
new
a
license.
time.
I cannot support this application.
Gaming Commission members
I must oppose granting the license.
Voted no, killing the casino plan 4-1. Lead developer Steve Gray felt the sting.
We had the labor unions, we had all the economic development groups, we had the key community leaders. We did it the right way. And unfortunately for Cedar Rapids, the commission disagreed.
With so much community support, a gambling license for Cedar Crossing seemed like a good bet. But commissioners made it clear that all changed at the end of February when 2 studies showed a big part of the profits would be stolen from nearby casinos. Carl Heinrich cast the first no vote and says nearly 40% was just too much.
I don't like the word cannibalization, and I didn't use cannibalization, but essentially that's what they do.
They turned their back on a $130 million private sector investment in
A
our
shocked
community.
but defiant
Even
Mayor
by their own
Ron
admission,
Corbett
they
reminded
said-
everyone the Gaming Commission suggested Cedar Rapids apply just to be dealt a losing hand.
They could have stopped this thing a year and a half ago and said, no, we're worried about saturation, don't apply. But they invited us to apply. So a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of community support has been into this project the last year and a half. So that's why I'm extremely disappointed.
Some have suggested the Gaming Commission just used Cedar Rapids to prove 18 casinos is all the state can handle. Commissioners say that's absolutely not the case. Meantime, those supporters of Cedar Crossing had a very long ride home, the kind that football and volleyball teams know after losing a big game. In Council Bluffs, Matt Hamill, CBS 2 News.
Boy, a lot can happen in a couple of hours. I'm joined now by Mayor Ron Corbett. Mayor, we just heard you in Matt's story from this morning, just minutes after the results of that vote. It sounded as though you felt a little bit led on by the commissioners here throughout this process.
Well, this has been going on for well over a year, and we've actually been encouraged by the Racing and Gaming Commission. They're the ones that said to apply and put together the timeline and the process for the application. So, we do feel very disappointed, but it isn't just me and the investors. I think the whole community is disappointed because this really was a community effort.
Yeah, and we're standing here now on a vacant lot. So many possibilities as recent as this morning. What happens down here in the Kingston Village? How important was this casino?
Well, the casino was important for several reasons. One, it was going to pay property taxes, but it was also, if you look around, there's a lot of other available property that would have been redeveloped. All those property taxes would have helped the city, the county, and the school district, and of course the nonprofits would have benefited from the casino license also. So this is a step back, but it's not the end. I mean, the ground is still available. We'll just have to regroup and find another use for it.
Is there an appeal process for this, or is this a done deal?
Well, the Racing and Gaming Commission, has the final say. So people say, well, is there a way to, take this to court or appeal or challenge it? There isn't. The only thing that would change the outcome would be to get different commissioners. And two of them were just recently appointed. So, here in the short run, they shut us out today, and we're certainly disappointed in that, especially when we felt, encouraged by them. Just 2 weeks ago, they were here in town, and we had over 1,000 people that came down to the DoubleTree Hotel, and they've done nothing but give us compliments and pat us on the back for our project. For them to say no because of, they're concerned about, the balance of gambling revenue was really a big disappointment today.
Perhaps maybe a bright spot to this. This community's been through a lot, and we've been criticized as at times being a city of no. This was a city of yes when this vote came down to go ahead and pursue this. What have we gained here as a community? What have you seen as mayor through this process here?
Well, certainly losing a $130 million casino, it doesn't even compare to a $7 billion flood that we had in 2008. So we were able to bounce back. Sometimes it's hard to see the silver lining in the situation that you're in, especially if it doesn't go your way. And so I still believe in this west side being redeveloped. We're still going to have flood protection. It just may not have come from a redevelopment standpoint at the same pace, had we had the casino here. But we are a resilient community. We have a lot of creative people. The ground is here. It's still shovel ready, and we'll find some other use for it.
All right, Mayor Ron Corbett, thanks so much for your time and all your work on this too. We'll be checking in with you to see what happens next here on this property. Of course, as we mentioned, this really was a linchpin for the Kingston Village area. There were also critics of this plan, among them the folks in Riverside. Of course, there is a casino there, Riverside Casino. Dan Keel bringing in about 100 employees here to voice their concerns to the Racing and Gaming Commission just a few weeks ago. Our Kevin Barry went to Riverside today. He talked to some of the folks there to get their reaction to the no vote today in Council Bluffs. The next step here is economic development, and certainly that vote was heard by a lot of folks across the state, and among them business owners here in what is now called Kingston Village, and my colleague Sadie Hughes had a chance to talk to some of those folks, no doubt watching that vote very carefully.
And, it goes without saying, they were pretty unhappy today, but Tiffany, while they were disappointed, they certainly weren't defeated. Popoli, a building block.
You can actually see downtown, and it is just a great location.
The restaurant's grand opening last night was just part of this area's rebirth.
Fred, Timko, and I started this project before the casino was even announced, and we still feel very optimistic about the future of Kingston Village.
Gary Rozek's development group is making a more than $8.5 million investment in Kingston Village. It includes Popoli, 4 floors of converted commercial office space in the old bank building, and a 6-story condominium complex. He was also one of the original 22 investors on the Cedar Rapids Casino project.
I feel sorry for the entire community of Cedar Rapids, and especially the people that put all the effort and work into the project.
I'm disappointed for Cedar Rapids as a whole. I think that we could have really used the revenue to improve the city.
But Shauna Salter with Fix Salon says they've been here 5 years and they aren't going anywhere.
We're excited to have our new neighbors across the street, and went over there last night and checked it out. It's great. Loving the area.
And that neighbor couldn't agree more.
This whole area is going through a lot of redevelopment, so I think it's going to thrive no matter what. But it would have been a great thing to have the casino.
The no vote today, Tiffany. Rozek says that things will certainly develop a little more slowly down here, but he also adds that the city has 4 building agreements with 4 different buildings down here, and that's in addition to the more than $8.5 million that his firm is already investing in the Kingston Village. So room for growth still.
Oh, really? Still a city of yes, even after that. Thanks so much, Sadie. The dominoes are continuing to fall here, Scott, once we have that vote in today. And talking with the mayor just off camera, I think one thing he did say that really stuck with him was the efforts of this community and those who really believed in this project to work together. You had all kinds of groups that typically may not have worked together come together for this common cause. So as we say here, onward and upward, looking for the next Plan B, Scott. Stay tuned.
Right. Tiffany O'Donnell reporting live from what was going to be the site of the new casino in downtown Cedar Rapids. There is other news happening this evening. It appears an electric heater played a role in an early morning fire in KGAN. Firefighters responded to 630 3rd Avenue East just after 1 o'clock this morning. When they arrived, they found smoke pouring from the apartment building there. Everyone inside managed to escape. Authorities say material left too close to an electric heater led to the fire. The fate of Visha now rests in the hands of a newly created task force at Iowa State University. School President Stephen Leith canceled this year's celebration after more than 1,000 students took part in a riot. At least one student suffered serious injuries. The task force is expected to make a recommendation to the school by the end of June. Representative Bruce Braley made a stop in Cedar Rapids this afternoon. He met with local experts and veterans organizations to discuss PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. During the roundtable discussion, participants took turns going around the room, giving their insights into this issue. Several Vietnam vets also gave passionate testimony on their post-war struggles. Braley says there is work to be done as a society to make sure vets get the care they need.
We have to remove the stigma of mental health treatment, including treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder, so that we encourage people to seek out the care that can make their lives better.
The discussion today was one of several PTSD roundtables Braley held this week. He also made stops in Des Moines and Marshalltown. All our lives we're told to save for retirement, but how you do that can take many forms. Just ahead on the CBS2 News at 5, the online resource some are turning to pad their savings when the workdays come to an end.
A quiet evening for eastern Iowa, but still much cooler than average. We'll see those temperatures increasing, and also when we could be dealing with some rain for Easter weekend. Up next, as we cover the portal.
The price of just about everything seems to go up with each passing year, and that means many are looking for anything, big or small, to cut costs. Sheila Gray has more in today's Family 411.
Well, I started when my third child was born because I got laid off being a stockbroker.
Jennifer Burdett is no stranger to the high cost of raising a family.
Now I have 2 kids that are, one's in college and one's getting ready to go, so I have to have some extra money.
She started selling on eBay 12 years ago.
Actually, all of this in here is mine right now, things that I used to decorate with and don't anymore.
Selling items on eBay is nothing new, but a recent study by MGM Advantage finds 1 in 5 baby boomers are selling their possessions online because they're concerned about staying afloat financially.
They may have made a mistake and overspent.
Financial advisor Jeff Danaher says buying and accumulating too much is common in America. And now people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are realizing retirement may not be in reach.
The old version of you retire and you don't have to do anything, that's pretty much obsolete today.
And it's the #1 concern for baby boomers ahead of staying healthy and the death of a spouse.
You need far more money.
Jeff became an eBay seller years ago when he needed extra cash, and he says selling some possessions could be a good way to start changing some habits.
Take that money and put it into your retirement plan, pay down the debt, or get it so that you have an emergency fund.
Is that just neat?
Over the years, Jennifer's made up to $400 a week on everything from her own kids' clothes to things she finds at estate sales.
It's kind of like gambling because you buy it and you think, hey, how much can I get for this?
For her, the online gamble has turned into guaranteed income and something Jennifer enjoys.
I think I'll always do it.
Sheila Gray reporting. Well, some will enjoy a day off from work or school tomorrow, so will the long weekend be better spent indoors or out? Chief Meteorologist Corey Christiansen checks in now with your CBS2 Weather First forecast.
Well, for much of the spring, the answer has been indoors, but this time for a change, definitely outdoor weather as we head into tomorrow. Same thing for tonight. It is cool, cooler than average with temperatures in the low 50s right now. Typically, we're in the low 60s this time of the year, but this is okay. Sunshine and light winds out of the northwest at just 10 miles an hour. Up north, it's downright chilly. Decorah is at 39 degrees right now, and Charles City's at 41. Much better in Prairie du Chien and Dubuque. We've got either upper 40s or low 50s, and Cedar Rapids is at 50 degrees. So our southern communities enjoying some much milder air, but everybody's kind of still feeling the effects of a cold front that came through. And the winds still out of the north for tonight, so that's going to keep temperatures a bit on the cool side. I expect to be right near freezing, possibly below freezing as we get into tomorrow morning. Before the evening, just a couple of clouds, 48 degrees by 7 o'clock, 44 at 9, and then 37 at midnight, but light winds and mostly clear skies. Not much moisture around the Midwest for today. Yes, we had some clouds earlier, but for the most part, it has been a dry day, not just in Iowa, but even in our surrounding states. Not so, of course, earlier this weekend when we had all that heavy rain, 2 to 5 inches across much of the state. This is last week's drought map and showing quite a bit of the state dealing with either some moderate or even severe drought. Those are the orange areas, not much up here to the northeast. Let's take a look at today's map. Today, new outlook was released. Well, there's quite a bit of a change right in the central part of the state. Of course, we had all that rain that came through over the weekend. Still some drought down to the southeast, however. But the big change in the last week was that the area of moderate drought, that's the brown color you see, dropped from 57% to 41%. So a big improvement from all that moisture we had recently, but we actually still need more, especially down to southeastern Iowa, where we're still dealing with some severe drought. Now for tonight, even into tomorrow, we're not going to see any moisture here. We've got a few clouds through tomorrow morning. A lot of sunshine down to the south, but a little bit more cloud cover north of Highway 20. But an absolutely dry day tomorrow. And Saturday also looks to continue that trend. We'll see some increase in clouds by Saturday night. Possibility for a shower overnight Saturday. And Sunday does appear a bit more active, but at least the next 2 days look awfully quiet. Right now, a couple of clouds tonight, cool and calm with low 30s overnight. Iowa City possibly the only spot that stays at freezing. Everybody else is below. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Our warm-up begins, and it will be significant. Back in the 60s tomorrow, and the long-range forecast brings in 70s for Easter weekend, and nothing cooler than 67 next week. Bit of an active weekend, though, for Sunday. Looks like we should get through Easter morning fairly dry. Might see some showers up across northeastern Iowa early Sunday, but for the most part, it's afternoon and evening for a chance for some showers and a few thunderstorms. Right now, though, does not look like anything like what we had last weekend as far as the rain totals. Last week, man, we had anywhere from 2 to 5 inches, maybe about a ½ an inch of rain for Easter Sunday.
Okay, thank you, Corey. A unique way to light up a home. Just ahead on the CBS2 News at 5, a different kind of generator powered by a product you can find on just about any farm in eastern Iowa.
Listen throughout the day for your Weather First forecast on today's Soft Rock 104.5 KDAT.
To city dwellers, manure is disgusting to look at and smell. To farmers, it can be a gold mine when it comes to growing their crops. But the benefits of animal byproducts can go far beyond the fields. CBS2 News reporter Brittany Borghi explains.
If a feedlot full of cattle doesn't strike you as electric, maybe you aren't seeing them clearly enough. All Brian Sievers sees when he looks at his 2,400 cows is power.
600 to 650 kilowatt hours at any one time.
That's because Brian takes the manure these cows produce, collects it, and turns it into electricity that he sells to Alliant Energy. Brian and his wife spent $7 million to build the anaerobic digester system he's walking us through.
Lisa and I made the commitment and we put it all on the line because we felt strongly in this project.
This giant tank mixes the manure with corn waste, heats it, and traps the resulting methane gas. These pipes run the gas through this generator.
Right over here.
Right now, it's enough to power nearly 700 homes, and it's all renewable, sustainable energy.
Using the resources that we're blessed with, our air, land, water, and people, and how can we maximize the value from those resources.
It's good news for the environment. Methane is about 20 times more harmful for the ozone layer than carbon dioxide. So this system keeps that methane out of the air, and it lets Iowans keep powering their homes farther into the future.
So it's a small part today, but in the future we expect it to be a growing part of what we do.
Covering the corridor in Stockton, Brittany Borghi, CBS2 News.
The Sievers company, AgriRenew, makes about $24,000 every month from the power they sell to Alliant Energy, and they're not even at full capacity yet. The sun continues shining on the corridor this evening. This is what it looks like right now from our Weather First Sky Cam across the I-80 corridor through Johnston County and Iowa City. The temperatures are starting to drop a bit, and next, Corey will tell us how chilly it will get tonight as we continue covering the corridor.
Next 2 days, dry, but there is a chance for some showers and thunderstorms on Easter Sunday. Not a total washout, though, just a little bit of rain.
Yeah, look at all those 70s in that 70s.
So much warmer, too.
So promising. Thanks for watching your CBS2 News at 5. Reaction from Riverside on the Gaming Commission's vote at 6.